Hey guys, welcome to another grip training session, okay? Yeah, today I want to show you how you can modify somehow your grippers in order for you to proceed a bit faster, to progress a bit faster in closing your grippers, okay? Or in closing your gold gripper, first of all. The gold gripper is always the one that you can't quite close right yet, just for definition, okay? Which is, with me right now, the 0.5. I told you that I barely closed it twice in my life, but that was maybe, I don't know, because I have eaten well, slept well, and I was healthy, I guess. So I had to use all my brute strength, and maybe I had a certain leverage where I was able to close it, okay? That happened twice, but it never happened when I actually wanted to close it. So that's the difference, okay? So if you want to close it and you can close it, that means you have to work on it, okay? And, well, people might think, okay, that's the next step up, right? And if you are able to do as many repetitions as you just said, like 17 for one set, for example, it shouldn't be such a thing to close the COC 0.5, which is the next level up, for at least one rep. And I thought so too, because, I mean, there's really a difference between doing it 17 times in a row or doing it just once, right? Even with a harder gripper. But that's not the case with grippers. And to understand why it is so difficult to progress in grippers in general is, well, you have to understand the history of grippers, okay? When grippers first came out, there were basically only those cheap plastic grippers, and people thought like that's the shit, that's it, okay? There were harder ones, of course, and easier ones, but generally speaking, they were all nothing, okay? Compared to Captain of Crush grippers, compared to Beef Builders, or compared to GHP grippers. So all those really professional and hardcore hand grippers are way harder to close than any plastic gripper you can find on the internet or on this planet, okay? And Iron Mind, which is the company that produces the world's most famous hardcore grippers, the Captains of Crush grippers, okay? They said, okay, we really want to give people a challenge. We really give people something to work on, to have really an equipment, a tool they can really use in their daily life to increase their grip strength, right? And these are, of course, the Captains of Crush grippers. But when they first started, there was only the 1, the 2, and the 3. And they thought like, okay, if you're able to close the 1, it's not so hard for you to move up from the 1 to the 2. And from the 2 then afterwards up to the 3. But they were wrong. People were there who had problems like me closing the 1. So if you're not able to close the 1, how are you supposed to close the 2? And then they came up with those intermediate grippers, which are in between, right? Like the 0.5 between the trainer and the number 1, then the 1.5 and the 2.5 and 3.5 for the 4, which they later added for extra encouragement or extra challenge. But what you see is, of course, it's not so easy to move a step up. That's basically what I want to show you, or what I want to tell you. And you might think, okay, now we have those intermediate grippers, so it shouldn't be a thing to move up from the trainer to the 0.5, for example. Or if you already closed the 1, from the 1 to the 1.5, right? So that's the logic speaking. But what you have to keep in mind is that the resistance increases exponentially when you go up, when you move up in grippers. So it's not like it's always 20 pounds heavier. So 20 pounds from the trainer to the 0.5, 20 pounds from the 0.5 to the 1, and so on and so forth. No, that's not the case. It's exponentially growing faster, so the resistance is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So what you need then is either a modification of your gripper that you are currently working on, or that you are trying to close but fail miserably for the last 2 or 3 centimeters, right? Or you have to look for grippers who are in between those captains of crush grippers. And that's why you see most of the people, okay? That's why you see most of the people having different brands of different hardcore grippers. So there are people who have, for example, the GHP grippers. There are people who have the beef builder the grippers. There are people who have captains of crush grippers, and so on and so forth. So people already see it somehow as a collection hobby to collect all those hardcore grippers which are around here in this world, and well, hang them up at the wall and whatsoever. But the point I want to make is you could search, for example, if you were now in my position, you could search, for example, for a gripper which is harder than the trainer but not as hard as the 0.5, okay? But I mean, if you do it all the time, it costs money and maybe you won't find it. So now to the actual part of the training, okay? What I did, this is my 0.5 here right now, okay? I hope you can see it. As always, I try to figure out a way to make it easier for you to see that it's the 0.5, but I think you see it right here, okay? And what I did is, I kept one handle like it is, so that my grip is good, that my hand doesn't slide away in the palm of my hand. And what I did on the other handle is, I wrapped it with paper and attached it then with Tesafilm, for example, or any other sticky film you can use, okay? And what I did, I mean, maybe you can see it, but I gained about 4 millimeters. I mean, okay, there's still some space here, which makes it look a bit more like, yeah, which makes it look a little bit more than it actually is. But I would say it's 3 to 4 millimeters. And those 3 to 4 millimeters can help me close it at least once, every time I do it. And I can also start to wrap it, okay? To do some wraps. And once I find myself like in a range I'm at right now with a trainer, that I can do up to 17 in one set, right? Once I find myself in this position, I can remove everything and use the normal 0.5 gripper without any alteration, without any modification. So the gripper is not damaged, it's still the same, right? That's what I like about it. So you can remove everything and you have your original 0.5 then without any alterations, okay? So you might find it a bit difficult to keep the grip here on this rather slippy paper, but it will definitely help you get some reps in, okay? So I would say with this method you can remove about 10 pounds of resistance at close, right? Which is important. And I would say I show you that I can close it right now, like that. Or like that, so it works, right? Then you do a little break. Then you do a little break. See, that's the point when you slide away. But okay, see, I closed it again. That's my second close right now. So that means I'm about 10 pounds away from closing the 0.5. So I have to work on this. This time I didn't use my chalk because I forgot it. So sorry, East Frisian Grip Garage, I forgot it. Which is also very important here, of course, because then nothing slides away, right? So I'm doing it without any chalk, it's even harder. So what you can see hopefully is that I'm 10 pounds away from closing the 0.5. And with doing these repetitions, I get closer and closer. So again, see, 3 to 4 millimeters, guys, nothing more, but that's everything in grip sports. It's always the last 2, 3, yeah, sometimes 4 millimeters, but I mean, if it's 4 millimeters anyway, then you should take a gripper which is a bit a bit lighter, okay? Now with the left hand again. See? So guys, it definitely works, but you can see it's very, very difficult, so it's taxing. I can definitely feel it in my hands. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. I will do 2 or 3 more repetitions, and afterwards I will do some triceps, some triceps work with my resistance band. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna show you the last repetition so that you can see that I did it more than just 1 or 2 times. Okay. So 2 more, and this is by the way more than I ever achieved on the 0.5. So it's a good training device. And as I said, once this becomes too easy for me, I simply remove all the paper and go for the big challenge then. Okay, I hope it doesn't really take me that much, because it's only 10 pounds that's left, maybe around about 10 pounds. But yeah. Now my hand starts to hurt. That's not a good sign. So you can see those grippers are hardcore, guys. But okay, we love it. Everybody who does it loves it. Let's see if I can do one more with my left one, which is a bit weaker, of course. Ah, fuck. So I have to... Okay. So I'm done with the left hand. I'm done with that. But I can still do one more with my right. So I'm gonna do one more with my right hand. So that's it, guys. I hope you found it interesting. Please leave me a like if so, and see you the next time.